awake at night because I'm so excited. If I don't find something that I have to grab the first person I see, including my wife, my daughters, my father, my mother, or anybody within close proximity about something I've recently acquired, discovered, or learned, we're not doing our job. So I want you to be aware that to improve your teaching, you constantly have to think outside the box, take chances, be adventurous, and take risks, because, as you know, mathematics itself is often fraught with risks and mistakes and adventure. And anytime we can model doing true mathematics to our students, anytime we can model being open to new concepts, new ideas, new teaching pedagogies, I think the college, the students, you and your department will all benefit. So here's what I found recently that got me all excited and kept me awake at night. I had read the research that says, well, actually, I didn't really start doing the research yet. I began to require a writing and research project for liberal arts math. It was just a paper that students emailed to me. And I noticed the quality was not so good. Some papers were great, maybe a third of them. A third of them were just terrible, disgusting, terrible language, no vision, no thought, no creativity whatsoever. And the other third were just so-so. And then I began to read the research about peer review, and I quote some folks here that I researched. This might be one name that we recognize. He's the one who way back discovered that the strongest factor that led to success in a math class was not ethnicity, it was not socioeconomic background, it was the ability to work in groups with your peers that contributed to success. You may have a smart, stereotypical, certain ethnicity of a person who works alone and does terrible in class. Someone who shares maybe a socioeconomic background, the majority of whom fail in a math class, succeed because they were able to work together in groups. But basically, if you submit your work as a student to your peers, the academic quality rises. Eric Ruff at Vandy in Nashville, Tennessee, has some new buzzwords that I discovered just a couple of days ago, and it's called social pedagogy. But my friends and colleagues like Wade Ellis are telling me that it's nothing new. If you go back to Vygotsky and Davidoff, decades ago, they all realized the importance of communicating and working together with your peers and how that raises the level of quality. Another buzzword of his is students submit their work to an authentic audience. Guess who that turns out to be? Anybody but you. Anybody but the professor. So that's why I think the quality of my work I was getting was so crappy. Nobody's going to see this except my prof. I don't know how many points I need to get the grade I want, but I'm not going to work any harder than that. But immediately, I'm talking overnight. The very first semester I incorporated this idea of having students comment on and rate each other's work. And all I did was just award points for effort and completion. The quality shot way up, and I'll show you some examples. This intrigued me. I'm sure you've heard about these guys at Stanford who led an online course that 58,000 students enrolled in about artificial intelligence. What's intriguing to me is how they graded the work. They used the cloud and Amazon. I thought I captured that paragraph from the article. We have a system running on the Amazon cloud. That's how they graded everybody. Does anybody raise your hand if anybody's familiar with that capability of the Amazon cloud? Well, I'll be looking into it. Yes? How does it work? Yeah, I mean, how does two professors grade 58,000 students? Obviously, it's somehow students are grading each other. Well, I guess either both. How could 58,000 students submit work and have the Amazon cloud grade it?
I know how MOOCs usually work. I don't know about this one in particular, but usually the 58,000 students aren't all doing the course for credit. They're not all having their work.
Right, And they don't get a grade, they don't get credit from Stanford, they get a certificate of completion.
They're not getting feedback from the teacher. They're either getting feedback from peers or not getting any feedback.
Well, one thing they are doing is getting feedback from teacher by posting questions, and the students float the best questions to the top. So there is a collective process that rates the appropriateness and the effectiveness of the questions, and those are the ones that the professors respond to.
Look at Quora, Google Moderator, or Peerwise. Those all do that.
Yeah. Let's talk about stretching your brain, huh? All right, let's move on. The site I've chosen to use was a data site developed by Google called KNOL. It's pronounced Noel. It's short for a little bit of knowledge. Can someone give me a signal when I have 5 minutes or 3 or 4 minutes? Okay. The website, there's no www, just noel.google.com, and you need a Google account to log in. It's a place where students and professors post their research, but it's very social. The website collects page views. The most popular Knowles, again, are posted on the website entry point. You can comment on Knowles, and you can rate it from 1 to 5 stars. It's been around for 2 or 3 years. There is no policy, as much of the internet is, on correctness or source or neutrality. But it's growing. It's in one of the top 1,000 web platforms, and there's a lot of work on there by a lot of people covering a lot of topics and a lot of subjects. Here is Patrick, who asks his little sister a question. "What are you doing, girl?" She says, "Well, first I looked in the back of the book, but it wasn't an odd number problem. Then I asked my little brother, but he wanted me to pay him $5, and that's Jason, the little math genius. Finally, I found it at the internet with Google." And so she explained to her brother, "My math teacher wants us to show how we got our answers." So there's quite a bit of resources available on the internet, including from him. Here's the projects. I started out with the very first one. In 1999, a PBS series of videos hosted by Danny Glover, the actor, were released. Danny Glover just goes around and interviews people who uses math on her job. And I used those for many years. It's the best film on math I've ever seen. Keith Devlin authored a book that accompanies the course called Life by the Numbers. But a few years ago, students began to say how great it was, but the technology's kind of old. And I realized it's time for some new sources for their writing and research component. So I've added 2 other options. Nova recently released a story about Benoit Mandelbrot and the history of fractals, their applications in cell phone technology and so on. Yes? Okay, 3 minutes. And then the University of Nottingham has a website called 60 Symbols, but there's now 180 or so. And all they do is pick a few of them that capture their interest. They open up short 5 or 10-minute videos about how the professors and graduate students use those symbols and those concepts in their teaching and in their research. Some of them are awesome and very entertaining. So I picked just at random 5 students' Knowles, and I included the websites if you want to visit their Knowles, but I've got a few screenshots. Shina Coleman does knitting, and she observed the similarity between her knitting and fractals, and included a photo of her work. Elisa Swift included Schrodinger's cat, the new soccer ball that was recently used in the World Cup. Erica Segovia talked about his 9-year-old son loving the videos. Together as a family, they watched all 7 hours of the videos. Oh, here's my favorite. Derek Davenport talked about the mathematics in beer foam. Tiffany Smith included a link to a 3D rotating hypercube. So if you open her report online and click this link, some Uncyclopedia Commons page opens up with a cube that rotates. And then, of course, any report that includes the Kool-Aid Man looks good in my book. She talked about using math making Kool-Aid for her family. But I think you can just get a feel, I think, for the quality of the work. The print was too small to read, but the English is great, the creativity is there, the images are capturing and engaging. And what I do is read each report, and if someone doesn't look like they would earn the full 50 points, I email them back and say, could you make it longer? Could you change? Could you add a picture? You know, something to engage the reader, and then you'll get the full 50 points. So everybody comments on and rates everyone else's report. I do a single read myself to filter it to make sure it's worthy of the full 50 points, and then I just give everybody the full 50 points. Students who don't submit a report get a 0. About maybe a fourth of the students don't submit a report. Crazy. But so that's how I use the internet and peer review to raise the academic quality of student work. Any questions? Yeah.
Did you say that every student reads every report?
Oh, I asked them to comment on 3. I'm sorry. It's a 16-week semester. I say you have to post your report by the end of the 12th week to give time for students, and I want them to rate and comment on at least 3 other reports. And I asked them to spread it out so that on the website, on the course website, everybody always goes and rates the first reports that are posted. So I asked them to scroll down to find reports that haven't been commented on and choose those to spread it all out. And that's part of their grade. If they haven't rated 3 other reports, they don't get the 50 points. Any other questions? How's it look? It's very cool. Thank you very much.